welcome to the second episode of this podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I hope that you enjoyed the first episode. In this episode, I really just want to talk about how I really got to starting a podcast, but it's not just going to be about that. I just want to make it quite general to how to overcome barriers and how to really start making things your own and not being ashamed of what you like and what you want to do and who you want to be. So I'm probably going to call this episode the start of something new, and it's only because when I was in the shower I thought of that song from High School Musical. If you are from my generation or you've watched that when you were a kid, then you probably know which song I'm talking about. But it just randomly popped into my head, and that's really what my content is going to be like, I feel like, because I just think of things very randomly. I use my intuition and I don't ever really plan recording things or anything like that. I don't have a script. I just ramble as it comes to my head. So really I just want to tackle starting new and starting fresh. So maybe I could start with a context on how I started to improve as a person and how I got to the point where I am now, because it was quite random, it was quite sudden as well. And I feel like it might help someone who is going through the same situation or who's thinking of changing, whether it's your job, a relationship, a friendship, or you just don't feel comfortable where you are right now as a person. So it really just started about a year ago when I was working as a nurse on a ward, and at first when I was working there, it was really nice. I had friends and I enjoyed the job because when you're a newbie, everything's very exciting and it's all great. And shortly after that, I just started experiencing quite a few problems. And, retrospectively looking back, I can really point out why I was experiencing these problems, but back then I couldn't really, figure it out. And so I couldn't really get on with people. I found the work really hard. I just felt like I was always disadvantaged, and I was in a mindset of a victim. Like, I just felt like everyone was always against me, and, whatever I did, it was always wrong and whatever. So in that time, I was considering already leaving the job, but I didn't have the balls, I didn't have the courage, because I thought, I studied for 3 years to get this degree, to get this job. I just started, and it would sort of be like giving up, and I'm not that sort of person that just gives up when something doesn't work out. Well, then I had a holiday that I went to Thailand. And that was like my dream holiday that I just really wanted to go to for a couple of years. And, sorry if you can hear my rats in the background there drinking from their water bottle. At that time I had like an opportunity come up which, sort of came up as a sign almost to go to Thailand with this group of people. And so I did go. And in Thailand, I met so many different personality types, and the people were just from completely different areas of life than I was. And there really I started to relax more. I started to realize that I didn't always have to be tough. I didn't always have to, be in charge. And the girl that I was rooming with, her name was Cherie, which I'm sure I will take her to this podcast one day as a guest because she was really amazing. She gave me a lot of advice, unintentionally I think, on how to be more relaxed. And there she really helped me to realise that I don't have to do things that I don't want to do. I am allowed to change my opinion on things. I'm allowed to develop as a person, and I don't always have to be the same. I don't have to be what people expect me to be like. So when I got back home, I wrote my resignation letter and I gave it in to my manager, and I said, I don't want to work here anymore because it wasn't making me happy. And she said, I did expect you to leave, but not so soon. And in that moment, I just knew that the decision that I made was the right decision because the people there were already expecting me to go. So it was just another reassurance that what I was doing was right. And how that links to the start of something new. Well, when that happened, obviously I was jobless then. And I just thought, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life now? Because I was always used to working ever since I was 14 was my first job in a fish and chip shop. And so I was completely lost. And at that time, my mum was very much into personal development and sort of learning about how the world really works, I guess. Loads of spiritual things as well, like learning about yourself and what you need in life and how to respond to your own needs. So I went to a talk with her where they were talking about starting your own business and just really stepping out of your comfort zone. And I think that was the main sort of pushing point that got me to get off my ass, quite literally, and start doing something for myself for once. So that's how I started to just do things that were fun. Yes, obviously, it was difficult to begin with because stepping out of your comfort zone is always very hard. Your brain always wants you to stay where you are. It doesn't want you to develop because, it's too difficult, or I can't do this, and you've got all these doubts in your head. But once I got past that by constantly pushing myself, always doing the things that I was uncomfortable with, always just, putting myself in situations that I wasn't comfortable in. And I know it might sound like a bit of paradox, like putting myself into situations that I didn't like or wasn't comfortable in. But I'm not talking about like dangerous situations or like situations that would harm me. But for example, I was scared of making videos. I didn't want to people to think that I was weird or like judge my accent or something, or my ideas were quite out there, so I didn't want people to judge me for that. But the only way I was going to overcome that was if I made that first video. Obviously, was it perfect? No, it was horrible, but you have to start somewhere. That's just how it works. So if I was to give myself advice looking back, and perhaps this is advice for you if you're looking to do something new in your life but you're quite scared to get out of your comfort zone, then my advice is quite simply just do it. I know you might think, oh, such a rubbish advice, or like, how is that helpful? But if I could suggest, then I would say just write down the things that scare you the most, whether it's public speaking or it's, I don't know, even signing up to like a dating site or something like that. Just do it. It's not going to be perfect, of course not, but you have to learn how to be not so hard on yourself and how to just move past your boundaries, because the boundaries that we have, we only set them for ourselves. No one else does. People may be setting boundaries societally and they might be saying, this is not acceptable in the society, but it's up to you to take that on board. It's up to you to reject it as well, and it's up to you to do something with it. So the start of something new is just something very exciting in my opinion, and once you get into the groove of things, because you will find your flow, it just goes like that. I started making videos every day, and in the beginning, yeah, of course I cared if people thought, it was good, or if I got loads of likes. But the more videos I was making, the more content I was producing, I was just really doing it for myself. I literally was making videos on the things that mattered to me, the things that, obviously I felt like maybe people will enjoy and they will listen to it and like it, but numbers didn't matter anymore. It didn't matter if someone unsubscribed to me. It didn't matter if I had another subscriber on top. As bad as that may sound, obviously I'm grateful for subscribers, but to me it's more important that people are enjoying what I'm putting out there and that I'm enjoying what I'm putting out there. I want to be very authentic and just do the things that I know will fulfill me in life. So how to finish this podcast? I guess I would just say that step out of your comfort zone. Do not let yourself be paralyzed in the comfort zone. Do not let yourself rot in the comfort zone, because just like a little pond with water filled in it, if you never drain that pond, if you never clean it up, it's just going to rot and become very disgusting. And that's the same with us and our soul and our comfort zone. If you never go and clean up the mess, if you never go and refresh things and renew things and do something more exciting for the pond, as it were, it will just rot. It will just be paralyzed and you will not be doing anything productive. And your soul in the long run will be very disappointed and you will not feel like you are achieving your best potential. And everyone's going to reach that stage in their life at a different point, and that's completely fine. Some people may not even reach this stage in their life, but if you are just having a little inkling that you need change, or something is happening that you feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. For example, you're working in a factory, but you've always wanted to be an artist, then why the hell not? Life is too short for you to just stick around in the comfort zone just because society, your parents, or finances won't allow you to. I promise you everything has got some sort of resolution. I have been through hardships, but I've always made it through. And if you're here and you're listening to this podcast, you have gone through 100% of your bad days, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. You've already made it this far. So trust yourself enough, take your time, and just do the things that you really enjoy in life. And that's the message that I really wanted to pass on today. Starting something new and how not to be so afraid of doing so. So I hope that you enjoyed it. As always, I'll be really grateful for any of your feedback, and whatever you're doing, wherever you are, have a lovely day.